is good, you? It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking our top 100, yes, 100 cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, it's kind of hard this early on because we haven't seen like that many great cards, so I mean, to be like a top 50 card, it's not that hard. Now, there are a lot of good cards in my team. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that, you know, all the cards are bad, anything like that. I'm just saying this early on, like, the cards are only going to get better. So, like, if a card is low or if a card is high and you think they're not supposed to be that high, you know, take it with what it is worth. Now, we're going to start it off all the way at the bottom, right? At number 100 with Ruby Steve Francis. Now, this is more of my personal thing with Steve Francis, how I personally don't love the card. Now, part of it is this, guys, okay? And I'm going to be honest with you. This is how it is with a lot of players. I haven't used Steve Francis. I just think the card's way overpriced. I mean, I'm sorry, 6'3", 6'6" wingspan. Badge-wise isn't bad. Defensively, he's just not great. And a lot of it has to do with his player model and player build on the court. I don't know. I'm probably lower on Steve Francis than I should be. But to me, it's just, I've never really been cooked by Steve Francis. And I don't see a lot of people using this card in general either. I mean, those two things combined are kind of why I'm decently low on Steve Francis. And he comes in at number 100. At number 99, we're plugging in Emerald Rafe LaFrance. Budget ballers rise, budget ballers stand up. This card, if you are looking for a budget big, is a great start. Why? Because he's, you know, 6'11", and he has one of the best releases in my team. That can kind of carry him on his own. He doesn't do that many other great things on the court. I'm not just going to sit here and sugarcoat things. Outside of, you know, shooting the ball, it's like, you know, his defense isn't ideal, not great. I mean, he is 6'11", yeah, which is decently tall, at least for this early in my team. I just think his release is really what takes the cake with this card. He does some other things on the court for him. It's not like he's just a one-trick pony with that release. Again, 6'11" can get you that occasional paint stop. But he is, in my opinion, at this stage, the best budget big man in my team. That's kind of why I'm high on Rafe LaFrance. If you're looking for a center right away, look no further than Big Rafe. At number 98, Amethyst Jason Williams. I mean, come on, man. White chocolate, what are you really doing? What are you really doing for us? I don't know, 84 3-ball, 80 speed. Defensively, he's absolutely horrible. And I just don't think I could put him any higher. I'm not trying to sit here and slander White Chocolate, because if you want to run him, do what you want to do. But his defense is horrible, and he's 6'1". How am I supposed to sit here and hype up a card like that? I don't know. You guys can tell me how I'm supposed to sit here and hype him up. Because as it stands right now, I'm not going to. Okay, it is that simple. It is that easy. He is not going to be hyped up by me at all. At number 97, Ruby Anthony Edwards. And it pains me to put him this low, but Ant this year is just not good. I mean, it's not even, his release really isn't even that bad. It's easy to green, easy to time. His movement's not great, though. He's only 6'4" at the 2. And I mean, he's just not great at anything. The only thing he's really great at is going to the rim and dunking the ball. But as it stands right now in my team, that's not the most important thing. Like, that's about the least important thing somebody can do on the court for you. That's why Anthony Edwards is this low, coming in at number 97. At number 96, Ruby Russell Westbrook. Now, for the first week of the game, everybody thought this Russell Westbrook was going to kind of run the game like he did early stage of last year, right? If you remember the Pink Diamond Russell Westbrook of last year, this card, he literally, I don't know why these images aren't loading. He literally ran the game. Like, that card ran the game. And so a lot of people thought this Ruby Russ would do kind of the same thing, be kind of a similar card. Newsflash, he's not. Okay, he's not horrible, but he's nothing like that card once was. Still has decent speed. I mean, his 3-ball to 64, it's greenable. But it's just, again, he doesn't fit the meta of my team this year. It's that simple. It's that easy. I do like Russell Westbrook's player build, though. That is the one positive thing I will say about Russ. I think his player build is really solid, and he plays decent defense. Coming in at number 95, got to go to 2K24. It is Amethyst Dirk Nowitzki. I do not like this card at all. To me, he's a little upgraded version of Rafe LaFrance. Neither one of them are going to play great defense. The only difference is Dirk has a higher 3-ball and a worse release, and he's an inch taller, or 2 inches taller. That's really the only difference between him and Rafe. And to be honest with you guys, I think the average person is going to have more success, yes, I said it, with Rafe LaFrance than they would with Dirk. I'm going to say it if nobody else will. I am not a fan of Dirk in my team. I'm just really not. If you locked in for this card like me, because I got Shaq, that's fine, but he's just not going to play for y'all. And he's not going to play for me. It's that simple. It's that easy to understand. Again, not a card I want to sit here and harp or talk about too much, but he is just not great in my team. It's Dirk. And it's sad because they could have made him at least a little better. At my number 94, we're plugging in Ruby Wally Zerbiak, a card who, I mean, if you got him, you probably got Brandon Roy. He's fine. He's going to shoot the ball really well. That's about all he does on the court. The one thing I like about Wally is he is 6'7" at that too, so he at least has decent height. I mean, but that's about the only other thing he's going to do for you. Release is fine. I'm going to be honest with you. I've got this card and never used him. So, I mean, can I sit here and hype him up? Can I sit here and, you know, talk about him, be knowledgeable about him? Not even really. I mean, I really can't. He's got a high 3-ball, which is important this year, but his defense is just horrible. Coming in at number 93 is Latrell Sprewell. Now, Latrell, he can't move, okay? His movement is horrible. So if you get Latrell Sprewell and try dribbling with him, you're probably going to be like, Ty, what am I supposed to do with this card on the court? Because his dribble sigs are horrible, okay? He does not move that well. Dame dribble style, I mean, it's really not that bad, but I don't know. It's the rest of it. He just doesn't move that well. Fournier base is chick, though, okay? He's going to be knocked down in the catch-shoot situation and play great defense. That's why I like Latrell at least a little bit. But again, dribbling-wise, not great in my team, and you can't expect him to be great. That's the one thing about him that you just can't. You can't expect him to go out there and just be great as far as movement-wise, because that's not what the card does give you on the court. I am a fan of Latrell, former Timberwolves player. I don't mind him in general. Thurl Bailey coming in here at number 92. For Thurl Bailey, it's relatively simple, okay? He's 6'11", and plays great defense. Now, what is the problem with Thurl Bailey then? Okay, why do I not like him? They gave him a 56 3-ball, man. Like, I thought Thurl Bailey would be elite. He's got a good release. He's got good height. But they gave him a 53 3-ball. I'm not going to sit here and hype up a card with the 53 3-ball, 56 3-ball. You guys can if you want, but that is not just something that I'm wanting to do today. Again, I honestly thought Thurl Bailey would be absolutely incredible, but newsflash, guys, he's not, because 2K hold him badly. At my number 91, I don't necessarily love this card, but he is your salary cap reward. He is Tubby Walker. The thing is, if he was defensively a little better, I'd not mind the card. His defense is just horrible, though. 82 3-ball. I mean, speed's decent, lateral quickness is decent. It's just 0 defensive badges. That's really the problem with Tubby Walker. Tubby Walker lives up to his name, though. Has a wide player model in my team, but it's not enough to play the card, in my opinion. Cracking my top 90, plugging in point guard Steve Nash. To me, I feel like Steve Nash just does a little bit more for me on the court than a guy like Steve Francis. That's why he's higher. Now, again, a lot of people are going to argue Francis, but I like guys that can shoot the ball a little bit better. Steve Nash can do that. Again, defensively, not going to be great. 6'3", decent player, model player, but he's fine. Not a card that I'm necessarily in love with, though. Coming in at my number 89, we're plugging in Emerald Matthew Dellavedova. Now, this one might surprise a lot of you guys out there, but look at his lateral quickness and look at his defense. He is 6'3" with a good, really, really good player model player build, and he's going to play great defense for you. Offensively, horrible, okay? I'm not even going to try to sit here and make the case he's okay to use offensively, because he is really, really, really bad on the offensive end of the court. He doesn't look that bad, but again, his release is kind of broken. I'm not a fan of it, but he plays great defense, and honestly, if you're looking for a budget point guard, Matthew Dellavedova can at least hold it down on that defensive end of the court. At number 88, we're plugging in DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. I've got this guy. I tried to use him. I'm just not a fan of him. Now, I know he can be a stretch big, but defensively, man, he is just not great. And I'm not trying to sit here and slander Boogie Cousins, because it's not all bad with the card. But I'm telling you right now, defensively, he gets abused. He's only 6'10", doesn't have very many defensive badges. 78 interior, 75 block. I mean, horrible vertical acceleration. Yeah, I mean, the stats tell the whole story. I shouldn't even need to sit up here in front of you guys and talk about why Boogie is bad defensively. Again, he is a stretch big. I respect that out of him, but that's basically all he gives you on the court. Decent release as well. I like Magic Johnson better than Boogie Cousins. It's crazy to say, but I definitely do. Magic Johnson coming in at number 87. Don't grind for Magic Johnson. He's not worth that, but decent speed, good playmaking, decent enough, like, I guess he has rebound chaser at least. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him. Obviously, only 6'9", not great on the defensive end of the court. Can make some plays for you, so he at least brings something a little different, I guess, to that center position. But it's just, I mean, in my opinion, my personal opinion, it's not enough to grind for. If you get him, you can run him. He's free, but not great. At my number 86, we're plugging in Ruby Richard Hamilton. Why do I like Richard Hamilton? He's got a great release, great shooting badges, and he holds it down defensively. He's all you need at the shooting guard position. Honestly, I mean, nobody really hypes up Richard Hamilton because he doesn't do anything like at an elite level, but his release is really good. He plays solid enough defense. I have no flaws in Richard Hamilton. If you've been using him since day one and still want to use him, I can't sit here and hate on that because I respect it. I like Richard Hamilton enough that I can get behind that in my team. At my number 85, we're plugging in Ruby De'Aaron Fox, 6'3", 6'6" wingspan. Now with De'Aaron Fox, it's speed. Speed kills, can dunk the ball decent. I've not used this card. I know his release is on quick. I think that release is decently hard to green. That's one of the reasons I'm not any higher on De'Aaron Fox, but he's fine. If you want to use Fox, do what you got to do. Have fun with the card. Coming in up next, at my number 84, plugging in Ruby Karl Malone. Card is fine. It's just a 64 3 ball, 66 3. But like, you have to use him like an old head. Like, you've got to literally post up with this card on every possession if you want him to be effective. And I'm just not getting behind that. He's fine, but another card I'm just not very high on. I much prefer Ruby Lamar Odom to him at number 83. Lamar Odom's a perfect power forward, small forward that can kind of do a little bit of everything on the court. But the problem with him is he just doesn't do anything great on the court, and his release, in my opinion, is on that slower side of things. So that's why I can't be any higher on Lamar Odom. Some people probably would even have him as like a top 50 card in my team. I just don't know if he does enough great on the court. He's fine at everything, but does he even do anything good? Not really. Coming in at my number 82, card I've never used, Amy Sam Jones. Like, I've got this card, I've just never used him. I've played against him so many times, and he's just mid. 6'4", fine release, can't really move. This card is the definition of mid. Even if you look at his hotspots badges, not great. You get him, he's fine. There's a collector level Ruby that I like much more than Sam Jones, though. At number 81, Sapphire Franz Wagner. 83 ball, quick release, 70 speed, decent lateral quickness. To me, he's very similar to Lamar Odom. His 3 ball is better and he's got a quicker release though. That's why I do prefer Franz Wagner. He's your best token reward. Tom Gugliotta didn't make the list. Who is that shooting guard, man? He's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't even remember his name. He is very mid, very mediocre as well. I'm just gonna pull him up for you guys. This shooting guard, Daryl Griffith. He's very mid as well. Franz Wagner is your best token reward. As crazy as it sounds for 10 tokens, that's who I'd spend my tokens on compared to anyone else as it stands right now in my team. Cracking the top 80, a sharpshooter in Jerry Lucas. I've been cooked by Jerry Lucas, and the good thing about Jerry Lucas is his speed's not bad, his lateral quickness isn't bad. You can't play him at center, but at the power forward position, he can at least hold it down. Not great, he can hold it down though, right? Shoots the ball well, decent enough speed, decent lateral quickness. His interior is a little low for my liking. That's why you definitely cannot play him at that center position. But I do not mind Jerry Lucas one bit in my team. If you want to run him, you can. Again, if you get him matched up against Shaq or somebody, he is probably not going to get you stops though. He's probably going to get mashed every single time. At my number 79, Series 1 card here in Ruby Andrew Wiggins. 6'7", plays good defense, knocks down shots. Again, does he do anything at an absolutely elite level? No, but he plays decent defense. 6'7" is going to knock down open shots. Just does enough for me on the court to respect it, right? I don't necessarily love the card, but he does enough for me that I think you can use him. And still, like, let's say you locked in the Series 1 sets. You can still run Andrew Wiggins at that 3 and absolutely love the card. He is good enough that I can definitely see you guys doing that. Coming in at my number 78, promo card Jack Sigma. Now, look, 2K blessed us with the VC as well as picking a card. And if you pick Jack Sigma, you got a really, really good center. The problem is we've gotten a lot of good stretch bigs since then. Like, that was the one thing about Jack Sigma. He was one of the best stretch bigs for when 2K did release him. And that's the problem. Since then, you know, we've got Chris Bosh, you got a lot of guys in packs. Still has 72 3-ball, great release. Feels more like an 80 3-ball probably. And he at least holds it down defensively. Just a little slow in my opinion. But other than that, I think you can use him and have a ton of success with the card. Coming in at my number 77. Maybe even a little low, Ruby Julius Randle. The problem with Julius Randle is like similar to Franz Wagner, similar to even a guy like Lamar Odom. There's nothing that is just eye-opening outside of his post moves on the court. And his post moves really what we're going for? No, because I mean, what made Julius Randle great for a specific period of time is every time he matched up versus Jabari Smith Jr., he was getting you an instant bucket if he got that matchup. Now the problem now is, number one, a lot of people are running inside bigs, okay? Whether it's Shaq and whether it's somebody else, a ton of people are running inside bigs. And that hurts Julius Randle's value because then they can just go double him. His release is still really good. There's just nothing outstanding about Julius Randle, in my opinion, anymore. Coming in at number 76, ML Carr. Think about what I just said about Andrew Wiggins, right? Very similar cards. Andrew Wiggins is going to shoot the ball better. ML Carr is going to defend at a way higher level. And the one thing about ML Carr, he can play that shooting guard position, which does make him even better. If you got this card in the promo set, he can still play. One thing about ML Carr, he's basically a cone offensively, right? He's not going to do too much for you on the offensive end of the court, but that's fine because his defense is off the charts good. At my number 75, a bona fide scrub in Allen Iverson. If you locked in for this card, man, either number one, you're filthy rich and you can donate me $1, right? I would appreciate, you know, you paying for my, okay, what can I buy? What can I even buy for $1 anymore, man? I can't even get like a McDouble for $1 anymore. That's so sad. Burger King probably has something for $1 because they're the GOATs, but I mean, let's be honest. This card is fine. His defense is horrible. He's 6 feet tall. If a card is 6 feet tall, how am I expected to hype them up? I can't. You got to lock in a ton MT for the card. He is absolutely not worth it. A card in the set, or in the Dunktober set that I like more is Raja Bell. I mean, honestly, this card is absolutely elite. Defends incredibly, 85 3-ball. You want to talk about 3-and-D guys in my team, you gotta mention Raja Bell. You have to. This card, as far as a 3-and-D guy, is perfect. Decent enough release, Rudy upper, Kyrie dribble style, and he is 6'5" with great defensive stats. What is there not to like about Raja Bell? Oh, wait, I am a massive fan of this card. If you like ML Carr more than this card, like, I get it, because ML Carr probably defensively is going to give you a little more height, a little more versatility. But I'm telling you right now, Raja Bell is going to play way better defense. At my number 73, we've got a duo, okay? And the duo is James Posey, Nick Van Exel. With the duo, they both claim this spot 73, but without the duo, they're not top 100 cards. I'm telling you right now, with the duo, look at James Posey's stats. Look at him and tell me it's not one of the best stat-wise small forwards we have in the game. Oh, wait. Who is better stat-wise than this James Posey at the small forward position? Not many guys. And Nick Van Exel is a great budget point guard for what he's worth. They're both as a duo at my number 73. At my number 72, we're plugging in Rui Paolo Banchero, 6'10", 7-foot wingspan. Very similar to, I don't want to compare him to Andrew Wiggins, but the comparison is they both, in my opinion, are complete players. Don't do anything at an elite level, but they're both pretty solid players. The best thing about Banchero is his wide player model player build. That's the one thing about Banchero that's different than basically everybody else on this top 100 list. At my number 71, Mike Miller. Now, I love Mike Miller about as much as anybody, right? Quick release, great release, but when it comes down to it, that's all he gives you. Defensively, he's just a liability. I'm going to put it nicely, a liability. At least he's 6'8", but he's not a top 70 card anymore in my team. At my number 70, Ruby Chris Paul. 6 feet tall, 6'4" wingspan, and he just does a little bit of everything on the court. I don't necessarily love the dribble sigs of Chris Paul, and I think that needs to be known, but defensively is solid. Gonna get you steals. 6 feet tall. His release not great. Leaner is kind of troll, especially going left. He's just fine. He's been a point guard for me that I've picked up for free, and he's at least held it down at that position in which I don't feel the need to spend empty. And for that, I respect Chris Paul quite a bit. At my number 69, we're plugging in the Sapphire Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, you guys probably thought I was plugging in Ruby Giannis. No, Sapphire Giannis. Here's the deal. I know he can't shoot. I know his defensive stats don't look great. He's 7 feet tall at the 4 with a base 36 badges. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Ty, man, why are we gassing Giannis this much? If you've never used Giannis, I don't think you can even argue me. I'm going to be honest. If you have not used Giannis this year, you can't argue me. Just use him as a defender, basically. That's all he is on the court for you guys. Coming in at my number 68, Ruby Kyle Korver. Y'all should be lucky he made this list. And I mean that. Like, I know there's a lot of big Kyle Korver stands out there. Y'all should be like, dang, Ty. Thank you for giving Kyle Korver credit. Thank you for putting him over Mike Miller. That's all I can do. Similar to Mike Miller, defensively is an absolute liability. Yes, I know Kyle Korver makes ridiculous shots. Yes, I know for the bots out there that can't green, he knocks down whites. But I'm being honest with you guys. Is he a top 65 player in the game? No, he's not. He's a cone that can't move. All he can do is shoot the ball. And guess what? Somebody puts smother off ball on, or smother off ball and on ball on you. What is Kyle Korver doing for you? He can't defend. He is a bona fide scrub. Y'all lucky he even made this cut and made it this high. At my number 67, a card I really didn't know where to put, Jamal Murray. I mean, he's fine. If you locked him in, you can still use him. Card's release is slow, though. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. The card's release is slow. If you want to use him, do what you got to do. But you can't expect him to be great because his release is going to be on the slowest side of things. Coming in at number 66, a card who is better than Kyle Korver is Chris Mullin, okay? Compare their stats, compare their badges. And I don't want to hear, oh, but Korver's got a better release. I know Korver's got a better release, but I'll compare them side by side to you guys if you want to. Compare their defense for me, okay? Mullin's better speed. Mullin's way better lateral quickness, way better perimeter, way better steal, way better at everything outside of his release. That's it. That's the only thing Korver has. I'm telling you right now, give me Chris Mullin every day of the week. Now, is Chris Mullin perfect? No, because his release, I don't want to say it's baited because it's not. It's just not necessarily the quickest release in the game. But you can still use it and have a lot of fun, a lot of success with it. I'm a Chris Mullin stan, especially when comparing him to Kyle Korver. At my number 65, Zion Williamson. You want me to hype up Zion? It's not going to happen. The card can mash. His release is not great. Defensively, he's fine. He's 6'6" at the power forward position. Man, I am not hyping you up. At number 64, Nate Thurman. Pretty self-explanatory, an inside big. But if you want a guy that's going to go out there and compete against like the Shaqs of the world, he can do that for you. Again, the center, power forward center position has gotten a lot stronger in this last week. And so yeah, a week ago, Nate Thurman might have been a top 50 card in my team. At this stage, I just don't think I can put him that high. At my number 63, plugging in Ruby Channing Frye. Complete opposite player of Nate Thurman, right? So I hate even comparing them because they are literally complete opposites. Nate Thurman, going to be that defensive head, going to get you that occasional stop. Channing Frye, going to stretch the court for you. So really just depends on what you're wanting. I do like Channing Frye more than Boogie Cousins, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Because at least with Channing Frye, right, he's got limitless. He's going to do what he does at an elite level, and that's green shots from that three-point line. 7 feet tall as well definitely helps, but he does get mashed by some of the good bigs in my team. At my number 62, Ruby OG Anunoby. My opinion, very similar to a guy like Andrew Wiggins. They're a little different, right? OG, in my opinion, has the better release, lower three ball. OG's going to play better defense, in my opinion. That's why he's higher than Wiggins. But again, if you like Wiggins more, I'm not going to sit here and argue because I've not used either of the cards in my team. I've used them in play now a little bit by just trying out the Warriors and trying out OG's release. But that's about all I can say on them. I'm not going to sit here and hype up either one of the cards. They're fine. The only way I'd do it is if you're going for card collector level. Otherwise, they are not worth locking in for. At my number 61, Doug Tobey, Luka Doncic. I mean, look, badge-wise, he's elite, but he's not good. I mean, I'm not even, I don't know what you want me to say. He's good badge-wise, but if you use Luka, the card is not good. From top to bottom, this card honestly kind of stinks in my team. And I know I'm not supposed to say that. I know I'm like, it's supposed to be like, yeah, Luka's okay, and if you want to lock him in, fine. No, this card's not worth the lock-in. Do what you got to do, but do not lock in for Luka Doncic. At my number 60, Ruby Dillon Brooks. The best perimeter defender in the league. You heard the man. I mean, let's be honest. D. Brooks, he's fine in my team. Do I love him? No. Is he fine? Can you run him? Yes. I mean, his defense is really good. good badges. His offense is horrible. I mean, even his release is baited. It's not great. If you want to use Dillon Brooks again, do what you got to do. He is not my favorite shooting guard in my team. At number 59, another Series 1 reward, DeAndre Ayton. He can stretch the floor a little bit. His release is fine. I just don't love him. Defensively is not even great, but has good speed, can hold it down for you, 7 feet tall. The thing I like more about DeAndre Ayton than anything is his player model. I feel like his player model is really good in my team this year. Eddie Jones cracking the top 60 at number 58. I don't know what they did to Eddie Jones' release this year, but it is a lot worse. And I'm saying this respectfully. It's a lot worse than it was last year. Like last year, one of the best parts about Eddie Jones was his release. And I just can't say the same thing this year. He's fine because he's still 6'6". Defensively is really solid and he can make some plays even. It's just his release is not what it once was. At number 57, Emerald Jordan Walsh, okay? 74 3-ball, 77 speed, really solid defensively. If you've not used Jordan Walsh, okay, then I don't think you can really argue me on this. Like, I really don't, because I've used Jordan Walsh quite a bit, and I'm a fan of the card. Is he perfect? No. Is he a card you can use and have a lot of fun and a lot of success with? Yes, absolutely. I mean, good release, and that 74 3-ball literally feels like a 90. At my number 56, Amethyst Isaiah Thomas. 75 3-ball is a little low, especially with no hotspots. And that's kind of the big red flag. Right now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's kind of what runs the game is 3-balls. The one thing I like about Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, you're going to play a lot of defense. And his release is good too. So, I mean, the cons outweighs the pros probably with Isaiah Thomas. But if you give him a 3-ball shoe, you get that to the low or the upper 70s. I think you're going to notice it be even better than that. And it'll probably be fine in my team. Not a card I love. Probably fine enough to run at that though. Allen Houston coming in at my number 55. Here's the deal, guys. He's going to shoot the ball well, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's one of the most important things right now in my team. And defensively, is he bad? No. Is he great? No. Like if you compare his defense to Kyle Korver's, it's literally night and day. You literally cannot compare them because his defense is like just so much better. But again, I feel like Korver's release is better, and releases do matter. Allen Houston's release, it's not bad. It's just not great. It's not as quick as a guy like Kyle Korver's. That's why people are going to hype up Korver more than Houston. I do think Houston is just more complete. Hear me out. Sean Marion coming in at number 54 here. A lot of people are going to dislike this. A lot of people are going to be like, Ty, what? Why is Sean Marion so low? Now look, okay? If you're a collector and you got Sean Marion, I get it. But his release is borderline too quick. It's hard to time. His free throw is nearly impossible to time. He doesn't really move that well. I know why people like Sean Marion. I just know I can't really get behind it. His release, nearly impossible to guard. And every time I play against Sean Marion, he really doesn't do too much against me. At my number 53, Amy D-Rose. He's going to be one of the best rim running point guards in the game. But outside of that, what does he really bring to the table? Defensively, not great. Offensively, I mean, his release isn't, in my opinion, great. And combine all of that with, yes, he's only 6'3", and his player model is not great. One defensive badge being pogo stick. I can't get behind Derrick Rose this year in my team. At my number 52, Ruby Joel Embiid. Not worth the lock-in, but he's 7 feet tall, can at least compete defensively and stretch the floor a little bit. I don't love Joel Embiid. I got to make that clear. I do not love Joel Embiid. But he can at least go out there and compete for you guys in my team. And with that, I at least respect the card enough. At my number 51, Marcus Smart Sapphire card. Another card you can get for free. Okay, I know I'm a free card fanatic, but you can get this card for free. And defensively, he is a menace. I played against this card quite a bit in Triple Threat Online while grinding for Chris Bosh. And nearly every single time, he boxed, whether it was Kyrie Irving, whether it was Devin Booker. He boxed whoever my primary ball handler was. 78 3-ball, good speed, great defensively. That's the one thing about Marcus Smart. And even his release is easy to green. I don't want to sit here and hype it up as the best release in the game because I don't think it is. But it is super easy to time and green in my team. Coming in at number 51. Cracking our top 50, we do see Ruby Jabari Smith Jr. There are some bad parts with Jabari Smith Jr., especially on the defensive end of the court, just kind of weak in general. But does have a 78 3-ball, really solid release. I mean, that's what Jabari Smith Jr. gives for you on the court, as well as he's free. Free card bias, hey man, I'll always give him the benefit of the doubt. Speaking of free cards, Clyde the Glide coming in at my number 49. Clyde, I don't know, man. I just feel some weird way about Clyde. Like, I feel like he shouldn't be good, but he is. His 73 three ball feels higher. Defensively, he doesn't look that good, but he's fine because he's 6'7". I don't know. The problem with Clyde is his best attribute is running to the rim in a game in which I'm a firm believer running to the rim is not that overpowered. Mashing this year isn't that overpowered. That's the tough part about Clyde is I feel like those couple of things, you know, he's just not necessarily, like he is the best at those things, but those things don't necessarily matter that much this year. At my number 48, we're plugging in Miles Turner Ruby card. In my opinion, my favorite Series 1 reward. Going to stretch the court, going to compete defensively. I don't know. Obviously, he's not perfect, but I do think the card at 6'11" gives you quite a bit of things on the court. And again, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Series 1 reward. Outside of, obviously, the Ultimate reward, which we'll talk about later on. Coming in as my number 47, we're plugging in Ruby Amari Stoudemire, 73 ball, 75 speed. The problem with him, again, is defensively. Very similar to a guy like Jabari Smith Jr., in which, look, offensively, they're fine. They're going to shoot the ball well, going to give you a lot. Defensively, they just leave a little bit to be desired. At my number 46, Larry Markin, and I forgot about him, Series 1 reward. Thing is, 7 feet tall, power forward, center. I like the card. Defensively, not great. But again, he's 7 feet tall, so he's at least going to compete. Not worth the lock-in, but if you did lock him in, definitely is playable. At my number 45, Ruby Desmond Bane. Here's what I was talking about with Sam Jones, right? Sam Jones is fine, but Desmond Bane literally is so much better than him. I think it's a night and day difference. Even if I compare Desmond Bane to Kyle Korver, I think Desmond Bane is so much better than Kyle Korver. That's just my personal opinion. And it starts in the defensive end of the court. Defensively, obviously, way better. I know release-wise, Desmond Bane's release is way slower than a guy like Kyle Korver's. But I think as far as the full picture standpoint, give me Desmond Bane every day of the week. At my number 44, Bruce Bowen. Perfect 3-and-D card in my team. The card, I think, as far as a 3-and-D player, it's hard to get much better. 91 lateral, hold up. Did y'all hear me? 91 lateral quickness. It's not like his lateral quickness is decent in 83, 84. 91 lateral quickness, 85 three ball. Does not get much better than this Bruce Bowen card. Great release as well. Quick release, easy time, easy green. I'm in love with Bruce Bowen. Just wish he had maybe a few more badges, but this card is really solid if you do get him. At my number 43, Joakim Noah. Great interior big, gonna compete defensively against, the Shaqs, Chris Bosh's of the world. My whole thing is he just can't shoot, right? He can't shoot. But outside of that, Joakim Noah is really solid. And if you did get him in salary cap, a center that can go out there and compete. Jaren Jackson Jr. at my number 42. Here's the thing. Jaren gives you the ability to shoot. And Jaren's player model is ridiculous this year. He's only 6'10", but that's like the biggest lie I've ever seen. Like, his player model feels closer to 7 feet than it does 6'10", which again is just kind of crazy in general. But I'm a big Jaren stan in my team. You might, even though I don't have him, like every time I play against him, I feel like he gives me issues. So that's kind of why I'm a decent fan of Jaren, and fan is the way I gotta phrase it, because I do not have this card. I don't have him, but I'm a big fan of Jaren in my team. At my number 41, J.R. Smith. Look, I know his release isn't great. I get that. But if I look at his speed, if I look at his lateral quickness, if I look at his perimeter, and everything he does is at a pretty good level, I respect it. I know his three ball, it's at 89, right? But his release is not great. But his defense is going to do it for me. That's why I do definitely respect J.R. Smith quite a bit. I've got him all the way up to number 41. At my number 40, Money Mitch Richmond. When you Evo Mitch Richmond, 84 three ball, gets way better in the defensive end of the court. Now, why do I like Mitch more than a guy like J.R. Smith? His release is just way better. That's the big thing for Money Mitch Richmond. His release, night and day better than J.R. Smith. At my number 39, Jermaine O'Neal. Now, I respect Jermaine O'Neal. Why? I can green with this card. He's got a 63 ball, But I don't know what it is. I agree with him. I do. If you don't believe me, watch my No Money Spent Squad series. 77 speed, not great lateral quickness, good interior, competes defensively. He's the first big that I've gotten on my No Money Spent Squad series that I feel like can compete against Shaq and knock down open threes. And for me, that's important. That's why he's all the way up at number 39. At number 38, Ron Artest Ruby card. A great 3-and-D option for you guys. Very similar to Bruce Bowen. A lot of people are going to say Bruce is better. Ron Artest, in my opinion, is nearly just as good. It's just really who's ever release you prefer, whoever's player model you prefer. I think more people are going to prefer Ron Artest, though. I might prefer Bruce Bowen. I think it's really close. Ron Artest, still really solid, coming in at number 38. At number 37, Karl-Anthony Towns. And I'm not saying Cat's perfect, but he's 7 feet tall with an 83 ball and 70 speed. Can he compete against, the Shaqs of the world? No, he's going to get absolutely dogged. His release really isn't great, but he's got enough going for him, especially on that offensive end of the court with good speed, a good 3 ball, that I got to at least, respect him. Respect what he can do, not what he can't do. Karl-Anthony Towns coming in at number 37. At number 36, Cam Whitmore, 75 3 ball, 84 speed, good lateral quickness as well. And my favorite thing about Cam Whitmore, I've said it a lot and I'll say it again, are his animations. I feel like he gets nearly better animations than anyone else I've used this year. And that's kind of crazy to say considering I've used a ton of cards. Like, the amount of cards I've used this year, even compared to past years, is night and day difference. Like, I've used way more cards this year than I had at this stage of my team last year. And a lot of that is because of the free grinds. A lot of that is because I have 2 separate accounts that I'm grinding pretty heavy on. I do really like Cam Whitmore, though, from top to bottom. At my number 35, Amy Klay Thompson. Now, I'm going to say it like this. I do not like Klay's release this year. And I don't know why. Okay, I don't like his release this year, but a 93 3-ball and a 91 lateral quickness, as well as being really solid defensively. I respect it, Klay. I respect it. I don't love your release, but I respect you as a 3-and-D player in my team. At my number 34, John Starks. I respect John Starks a ton. Can play really solid defense. His release is really good as well. It took me a while to really figure out what I thought about John Starks, but I really like the card in general. I think he is, as far as a promo set, probably the best Ruby promo card there was in my team. At my number 33, Amy DeMar DeRozan. I know he's got a 66 3 ball, but if you give him a shoe, give him, the appropriate badges, even just give him catch and shoot, that's going to feel way higher. DeRozan base this year, I've heard is good. I haven't used it this year. And MJ dribble style. I mean, I'm not going to hate on a 6'7 DeRozan. If you got him out of your free promo pack, I think the card is really solid. And maybe even, he's not my ranked best, but could be the best Dunktober Amy card there is. At my number 32, Andre Iguodala. You talk about 3-and-D guys in my team. I think Iggy's probably the best, and it's probably just because he defends on the interior, as well as his badges are immaculate as well. If you compare his badges to Bruce Bowen, just do it for me. That's the big reason why I am this high on Andre Iguodala. Badge-wise, I mean, Iggy's just way better. That's the story right there with Andre Iguodala in my team. Coming in at my number 32. At my number 31, Baron Davis Dunktober card. Now, initially when this card came out, I was like, okay, he's got the Dame base, but it's only on normal timing. Dame's base is on quick, so, I mean, I can't really compare that. And in the past, Baron's just had a slow release. This year, it's not slow. Defends pretty well, can attack the rim, good driving dunk. I think as far as complete point guards, there's a limited number that are better than Baron Davis in my team. Cracking my top 30, we've got Ruby Alonzo Mourning. Another free grind, right? Again, these grinds are free. Now, whether you want to grind them or not, that's totally up to you. I can't sit here and say any of them are really worth the grind, but you can grind for them, and they are free. Alonzo Mourning, a great defensive center, okay? He's one of those guys that can go out there and compete with, like, the Shaqs of the world. Only 6'10", but good speed, good lateral, great interior, gonna get enough rebounds, good badges as well. Again, limited number of centers that are going to compete better against those top guys than Mr. Alonzo Mourning. At my number 29, Ja Morant. I didn't love the card when I used him, but he's got a really good release, and he's going to attack the rim and dunk on everybody. For me, I don't love Ja Morant because defensively he is an absolute liability, but if you need a point guard and got Ja Morant, let's say I get him on my no money spent, it would be a great improvement over who I've got running right now at my point guard position, who is Chris Paul. At my number 28, Ben Wallace. Talk about centers that can compete against the best. Ben Wallace can. He is undersized, which obviously I'm not the biggest fan of. I wish he was a little bit taller, but it is what it is. Ben Wallace coming in number 28. Just a really solid interior big. At my number 27, Ruby Jason Kidd. Can argue he's the best point guard in the game. You can make that argument if you don't like 3 hunting. Jason Kidd is it. Okay, great defense, good playmaking. And his release is even pretty solid this year. Not a release I hate at all. At my number 26, Vince Carter. I picked him up on my Nobody Spent Squad series yesterday. Thank goodness he graded well. And so I really am not going to lose him any MT on the card. I think his release is fine. I just really don't love his dribble 6. That's my big problem I'm having with Vince Carter right now. But definitely my best shooting guard on my Nobody Spent Squad series by quite a large margin. Coming up next, at my number 25, we got Pau Gasol. I think Pau Gasol is underrated. I mean, here's my thing with Pau, right? Good interior, good block, and defensively, he can compete. I'm not saying Pau is the be-all, end-all because his release is on slow, but I do think if you get Pau Gasol, he's going to be a really solid center in my team. Coming in at number 24, Draymond Green. I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me for having Draymond Green this high. I'm going to say it like this. Even without the Steph duo, I'm a big Draymond Green fan in 5v5 modes. Now, in Triple Threat Online, is he great? No, because his 3-ball is not great, and, he can't really make plays. He can only really defend. But in a 5v5 setting, he's going to sit in the corner. And guess what? He's green from that corner. Even with the 73 ball, I'm telling you, from either corner, he's going to green. He has half anchor, going to play a lot of defense. Now, you give him this duo, man. He is something special in my team. At my number 23, Amethyst Damian Lillard. 93 ball, 84 speed. The defense is the problem with Dame, right? That's the big problem I see with Damian Lillard. From top to bottom, I don't hate Dame. Like I use the Bucks in quick match, and so I might be higher on Dame than a lot of people. But from top to bottom, I like this card. Can create, releases quick. It's tough to guard in my team. Ruby Giannis coming into my number 22. 78 3-ball, great ladder quickness. The problem with Giannis is a 59 3-ball, right? Nobody is greening that really consistently, and that's why Giannis can't be any higher, right? I mean, 37 base badges, I'd like to say he's higher, but he just can't be. I'd like Giannis in my team. 22 is as high as I can go. Shawn Kemp coming in here at number 21. I don't love the release of Shawn Kemp, but look at it from this perspective, right? At the power forward position, he can dunk. He has the ability to stretch the court, decent speed, and defensively at the power forward position, he's not bad. Not great by any means. I'm not trying to sit here and make the case Shawn Kemp is a great power forward because he's not. But he is a card that can at least hold it down at that position for you guys. Cracking the top 20, Joe Dumars, okay? Joe Dumars, 35 base badges, great defensively. His release is solid, 82 3-ball. Joe Dumars is complete in my team, and nobody can tell me anything else. Does he play for me? No. But he absolutely still can play for you guys, and you guys can have a lot of success with Mr. Joe Dumars. At my number 19, Dunktober Serge Ibaka can shoot the ball, can compete defensively. What else do you need out of it, right? If you do the Dunktober challenges and you get Ruby Serge Ibaka, you are lucky because you get a top 20 card in the game. The best card that came out in the Dunktober set yesterday, or 2 days ago, right? 3 days, that was Friday, man. Time flies by. My favorite Series 1 card is right here. It's Bam Adebayo, okay? He does everything at a very solid level in my team. And you might be like, well, Ty, he's only got a 65 3-ball. I'm telling you right now, he greens everything. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. He greens everything. He's got half anchor, plays great defense, greens everything with the 65 3-ball. I've never used this card, but he is so annoying to play against, is Bam Adebayo. At my number 17, Larry Bird. I'm not taking any Larry Bird slander. I'm not. This year, I'm not taking any. Because his release isn't the quickest? No. But it's fine, okay? It's not the slowest I've used this year. And guess what, guys? He is going to do a lot of things at an elite level. Yes, speed's a little low. Give him a speed shoe. Defensively fine. Going to shoot the ball well. And that is the meta of my team. As well as he's 6'9" at the small forward position. Not worth the lock-in, but a card I really do like. Coming to number 16, Victor Oladipo. If you grinded for this card, you got lucky because 2K made him a point guard. He's still only 6'3", where the gold Victor Oladipo is 6'4". Don't ask me why, because I don't know. But his hot spots are decent. I'm excited to eventually get this card on my account and try him out. Wish I got him on the no money spent, but I didn't know he'd be point guard eligible. I guess I'm just at a loss for that, but it is what it is. I still like Victor Oladipo in my team. At number 15, Chris Webber. decent speed, decent 3-ball, really decently quick release. Chris Webber based on normal, Chris Paul dribble style. Just a very complete card. If you locked him in day one, you got a really solid card in Chris Webber. I'm not gonna be the one to sit up here and slander this card, because from top to bottom, I really do respect Chris Webber in my team. At number 14, Hakeem Olajuwon. You want a card that can compete against those giants? Hakeem is that, okay? Obviously, I've used this card a little bit because I did lock in the cooking set for Steph Curry. Do I love Hakeem? No. But again, you want a guy that can compete against Shaq. You want a guy that can compete against AD. Hakeem Olajuwon is in that tier 2 of centers. We'll talk about the tier 1 when I get there. At my number 13, Amethyst Jason Tatum, 6'8", 6'10" wingspan. Name a more complete card in my team. Oh, wait. 44 base badges, great 3-ball, great lateral quickness, and even his release, super easy to time. I don't necessarily think his release is the quickest, but with as easy as it is to time, I respect Jason Tatum a ton in my team. At my number 12, Julius Erving. When these Showtime cards first came out, I was like, who's better, Dr. J or Vince? It's definitely Dr. J. He just gives you so much more on the court. 6'7", 6'11" wingspan, good speed, good lateral quickness. 3-ball is not that high, but again, really good release in my team. Dr. J, I'm not saying this card's great, but he's going to see some really great cards this year. At my number 11, Grant Hill. The single most underrated card in my team is Grant Hill. Outside of one guy. One guy we have not covered so far, okay? And we'll get to him sooner, okay? Rather than later. But I love Grant Hill. Great speed, great lateral quickness, good 3-ball, great dunking, can handle the ball. There are no flaws in Grant Hill. No flaws. Now, if you can't grade with the card, okay, I get it, right? His release is a little iffy. But everything else about Grant Hill is absolutely elite in my team. Cracking the top 10, legendary path, Devin Booker. At the small forward position, or at the shooting guard position, it's stacked. I'm not going to sit up here in front of you guys and lie. Shooting guard position is stacked. But Devin Booker is a top 10 player right now in my team. If you have to get Chris Bosh, he's probably the best guy for the challenge. Not worth the lock-in, once again, but really solid option in my team. At my number 9, Trace McGrady. A card I do right now run over Devin Booker just because he's taller. In my opinion, plays a little better defense, but you can make the case for either card. Again, I like both cards. I use both cards. Devin Booker's just kind of my offensive card, but both those cards absolutely elite in my team. Is T-Mac worth the lock-in? Absolutely not. At my number 8, Robert Covington. And I wish I could tell you guys I was trolling, but I'm not. This card is this elite in my team. And if you don't know, you will soon. This card is so good. You upgrade his catch and shoot, upgrade some of his defensive badges, man. Tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can't do. Covington based on normal chicken. Great release, good ladder quickness, great player model player build. He is at my number 8. A top 10 card in my team is Robert Covington for 7,000 MT. I'm waiting. I play him over Grant Hill, so now what are you going to say? At my number 7, Steph Curry Diamond. 6'2", 6'3" wingspan, great 3-ball, good speed, great lateral quickness. Is he the best point guard of the game? I personally don't believe so. A lot of people want to argue me on that. I've used both cards. I think you can make the case for both cards. I'm just saying, for me, I do like one card better than Steph. Steph's absolutely elite, though, still at number 7. At my number 6, level 40, Kyrie Irving. If you got Kyrie, he should absolutely still be playing for you. Great 3-ball, great speed, great lateral quickness. The common thing is, oh, but Kyrie's release is baited. Man, maybe a little, but if you get open with Kyrie, it is so chick, man. It is so tough to guard Kyrie Irving in my team. At my number 5, Scottie Pippen. The one small forward that I still think is better than Robert Covington is Scottie Pippen. Decent 3-ball, good speed, good lateral quickness. I can't sit here and slander Scottie Pippen and never will. Good release as well. Chicken man in my team. I love and adore Scottie Pippen in my team. At my number 4, Brandon Roy, 6'6", 6'8" wingspan, good 3-ball, good speed, decent lateral quickness. In my opinion, the most complete shooting guard in my team as it stands right now. Now, you can make the case for other cards, but for me, it is Brandon Roy ahead of the rest. At my number 3, Anthony Davis, okay? AD, super complete, 74 3-ball, 72 speed, 75 lateral quickness, great release. I have no flaws, nothing bad to say about Anthony Davis in my team. Probably a card that's going to play for us sometime. Problem is, power forward center position is absolutely stacked, because coming in at number 2 is Chris Bosh. Now, I still don't have the release of Chris Bosh down, but compare these cards. They're not even close. Chris Bosh blows Anthony Davis out of the water. even without comparing to 3-ball. He's taller, competes way better defensively. I'm telling you guys right now, do not sleep on Chris Bosh. If you get Chris Bosh, he should absolutely be playing for you for the foreseeable future. Again, I don't even have his release down, but just as it stands right now, great defense, can compete against Shaq, Hall of Fame rebound chaser. This card is absolutely it in my team. Coming in is my number 1 card in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. It is the Diamond Shaquille O'Neal, 87 speed, great defense. I mean, he's the best. He's the best center in the game. As much as I want to make the case Chris Bosh is better than Shaq, he's not. Okay, he's close, but close does not count in my team. Shaq, your overall best card in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. That's going to wrap it up for our top 100 list. Got through it, I do believe, in under an hour, which for me is really, really, really good. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.